So how y'all doing? I don't care. Don't answer it. Sorry for being a dick. The top 5 cars of Grand Theft Auto 5 Online Edition. We'll be showcasing the 5 best cars in the game for any player at any level of income, preferably high-end cars. So if you don't have a lot of money, if you're part of the working class poor, do not watch this video. So at number 5 on our list, at the bottom of the barrel of the top 5, we're going to be talking about the Vapid Bullet. What? How did this even make the list? Most people are like, I don't want that. I want the Infernus. Well, you know what? The Infernus can go suck a dick. A whole bag of dicks. The Bullet GT / Bullet Vapid Bullet is one of the greatest cars ever created in Grand Theft Auto. The whole franchise. All of them. Except maybe 3. Yeah, not that one. Based off the Ford GT, one of the smallest cars if you watch Top Gear, which I do, which is fairly entertaining. You'll note that the Ford GT is fairly small and close to the ground. Jeremy Clarkson couldn't get in it. Thankfully, our characters aren't freakishly large in the fact that they can actually get in this car. Except for my female character, she has trouble, but you know what? Fuck her, bitch. So, the Bullet GT has one of the fastest times of acceleration. It does 3.6 seconds, 0 to 60. Absolutely insane with a top speed of 220 miles per hour, or 240 if you get it crazy ass modified. I love this car. When you're driving it, it feels bulky. If you get painted white, you get that Miami Vice sort of feel with their car that they had. And you're just like, oh my god. I'm not driving a Testarossa, but I'm driving a Ford GT that kind of reminds me of it. It's got the louvers on the back, which looks absolutely sick. I found that this car is pretty useful in the fact that most people can't shoot through the louvers, and so it's actually kind of bulletproof at the back, much like another car we'll talk about on this list later. The Vapid Bullet handles fairly well as long as you know how to drive. It's a heavy ass car. With other cars, you note that they're kind of lighter. This is a glorified muscle car that's gone into the sports car division, and it handles corners kind of clunkily. I'm not gonna lie. If you know how to drive, you can make it work for your advantage, but for most people, if you're a noob at driving, you'll have some trouble with this car, I'll be honest. But once you get it down, it's a good car to drive around. In fact, it's my daily driver in Grand Theft Auto 5 right now. Coming in at number 4, one of the DLC cars, the Grotty Turismo R. The Grotty Turismo R, based off the Ferrari LaFerrari, is one of the craziest cars in the game. The Turismo R has one of the fastest accelerations in the game, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds with a top speed of 210 miles per hour. It's got a crazy ass chassis, and what's fucked up is the whole body, if you get damaged, will flake off your car, and then you just see the engine and the cockpit area, and you're just like, what is this? What is this? It's like a Frankenstein mobile that goes super fast. It's like when you break your Hot Wheels toys and you just see the wheels and the chassis, and you're like, okay, I'll play with it, but whatever. Anyway, the ball that's in the Turismo's court is its speed and handling. Unlike most of the other supercars that have their own little quirks and failures that run amok amongst them, the Grotty Turismo R seems to surpass most of them in terms of being a very fast car and having great turning. One of the problems is that you have to counter steer quite a bit if you get into crazy ass turns. That being said, you can get big air with this car when you sort of accidentally go on a hill too fast, and that leads to massive breakage. Fortunately in this, the wheels don't lock as they do in other cars. You'll note when they get damaged, the wheels start going clunkily in a lot of cars. In this instance, the Turismo R actually manages to sustain some structural integrity, making it a valuable car for any collector in Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 3, the Adder No! You didn't see this one coming. A lot of people were just like, what the fuck is JIMBOTHY thinking putting the Adder at number 3? Who does that? As based off of one of the fastest cars in real life, the Grotty Veyron, the Trufade, I pronounced it wrong. The Trufade, okay, I'm gonna call it the Trufade Adder, is one of the fastest cars, if not the fastest car in the game. It has unparalleled top speed with a fairly fast acceleration, 2.5 seconds 0 to 60, or 1.8 when fully upgraded. It also has a max speed at 253 miles per hour, meaning over the long run in most races, if you don't get a good acceleration, that's okay, because you'll beat the person over the duration of the race as long as you manage to maintain top speed. You'll simply overpass and overtake every single car coming your way. This car, when you first get it, you're like, I can't believe I'm driving this, because you end up going much faster than a lot of the cars on the street. In fact, going against the traffic in Grand Theft Auto 5 with this car is kind of a nightmare. You always find yourself getting into crazy accidents because not everyone can drive as fast as you. And this is the common car that most people who glitched money ended up purchasing, and I can see why. It's an excellent car, especially when you get painted up nice. It has not a lot of customization options. I'm going to be quite frank with this. There isn't much you can add to the car to make it better, but it is a very sleek and sophisticated car. It has to be in your collection by far. At least one of your cars has to be an Adder if you want to compete online. Coming in at number 2, the second, which is also the first loser, the overflawed Entity XF, based off of the Koenigsegg CCR CCX. The Entity is one of the fastest cars in the game. In fact, most people would put it as fast or a little, if not faster, than the Adder, based on its amazing top speed performance at 240 miles per hour. The Entity is basically the Batmobile. Everyone thinks of that when they purchase this car. That's based on the cockpit design and how you enter the car. The Entity is one of the fastest cars in the game. Its acceleration actually bests that of the Adder in the fact that it can do 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. If you're going to do a race and you want to fight against all the unwashed masses in their Adders who think they can rule the streets, your best bet to fighting them would be the Entity XF. With its driving prowess and ability to take sharp turns extremely well, everyone loves this car. If you don't have an Adder, you probably have an Entity, because this is one of the cars you need to succeed in this game. And with a slightly cheaper price tag than the Trufade Adder at $795,000 from Legendary Motorsport, this is a great car for you to purchase on the cheap. Well, not cheap, but compared to $1 million for the Adder, the Entity blows it out of the water. I want to be seen driving my Entity XF more than I want to be seen driving my Adder, because it looks like the Batmobile. When it's ever seen in game, it's always a sight to behold. Watching an Entity XF driving circles around other players who try to fuck around in the game like it's nothing at all. But that, my friends, is only the second best car inside the game. Coming up after the break, the number 1 car in Grand Theft Auto 5. We're back, and we're going to show a little recap of the top 5 cars we covered so far on our way to number 1. At number 5, the Vapid Bullet, based off the Ford GT. Very fast, but very heavy, and a little fucky-uppy when you try to drive it crazy. At number 4, the Grotty Turismo R, based off the Ferrari LaFerrari. Very fast, but it brakes too easy. The glass cannon of the game, no thank you. At number 3, the Trufade Adder, based off the Bugatti Veyron. Very fast, very classy, and very expensive. And at number 2, the overflawed Entity XF, based off the Koenigsegg CCR CCX. Very extremely fast, great acceleration. It's the Batmobile inside the game. And at number 1, the Pegassi Zentorno, based off the Lamborghini Aventador, the very newest Lamborghini in a company that only makes cars every few years. They only have like 5 models or something. The Zentorno is one of the greatest cars in the game by far. If you have a fully modified Zentorno, you're talking 250 miles per hour. The Zentorno is the king of the road right now. With a super fast acceleration at 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds, the Zentorno is absolutely smooth with a monster engine underneath it. This car is the beast. It's from the future, I tell you. Dr. Emmett Brown didn't need a DeLorean. He didn't need a flying hoverboard or a train. He needed a Zentorno to take him back to the past. Somehow this came from 2553, warping through time and space to make it into 2014 Los Santos. And if you don't have this car, what are you thinking? You could sell all the cars on this list, okay, maybe not a few of them, and you'd have enough money to get yourself a nice Zentorno. And at $750,000 on Legendary Motorsports, it's one of the best per value cars you can ever get inside the game. If you do a simple race, any race with the Zentorno, you will be beating the Adder, you will be beating the Entity XF, you will be beating the Cheetah and Turismo R. The Zentorno is the king of the road. And you need to buy this car immediately. And with all the customization options that make your car look however crazy you want it, from underglowing Tron lights to a crazy tail race spoiler, which makes this car look even more like a Batmobile. What is with this game, Rockstar? You keep making crazy cars that are Batmobiles. It is one of the best, if not the best, car in the game right now. I'm proud to say I've owned 2, and I've actually owned 4 after some crazy night drinking, accidentally buying Zentornos on the cheap. Lord Zed is back. Not Power Rangers, but a Zentorno. And he rules. Grand Theft Auto 5 Online Edition. And that has been the top 5 cars in the game. I'm your host, JIMBOTHY. Hope you guys liked this video. Be sure to slap that like button around like it's your wife and she said something stupid. And if you're new around here, I'm on the road to 200,000 subscribers, so be sure to hit that subscribe button, youtube.com/McCallahan Industries. There you'll find lots of crazy GTA 5 and other gaming content, like Easter eggs and stuff. Next time we find a new wonder weapon inside the game. See you guys later in the new I'm Not a Hipster update on Grand Theft Auto 5 Online Edition.